I'm very passionate about heart-centered and truthful masculinity and unapologetic masculinity. So from where I come from is that, I see Marco, especially the young guys coming into this world, almost almost apologetic of being a man. So what I want to bring there is the proud of being a man, bring the proud of masculinity back, but the heart-centered masculinity, not the old school patriarchy, macho masculinity, which was often sometimes unhealthy. So the masculinity where you are, wow, it's good to be a man, and the word masculine is a beautiful word. Sometimes it's almost seen as a bit of a dirty word. There are so many women out there that support what I do and what you do, in terms of for men to really be proud of their masculine part. Yes, to drop into their hearts, but not to lose their masculine part. Yes, to drop into their feminine energies and to feel themselves in their emotions. But hey, man, still to be a man, and still to be in their masculine energy. And I often have women saying, if I can be as direct as saying, man, um, I want my man still to be able to fuck me properly. Yes, I want him to be in his heart, but I don't want also to be a over. I want him to be integrated with both. I don't want him to be over feminine. I want him to be in his emotions, but I also want him to be a man and to be able to fuck me properly. I feel very strongly to be out there for men and especially for the younger guys, to say to them, hey man, do your inner work, sort your own inner stuff out. That's super important to raise your awareness, raise your consciousness, do your inner work. But never, never apologize to be a man, and never apologize for your masculinity, beautiful aspects of who you are, because that's what women want. Women that are really done their work and also done the deep inner journey do not want to emasculate men. Why the fuck would they want to do that? Because that will be terrible for them to be in a space where they have emasculated man. There's absolutely no sense in that. So women that are really done their work, they want masculine men. I mean, I come across a lot of women that have done their work. They work in spirituality and sexuality, and they, I'm doing a talk here in Nyon in Geneva, and it's a beautiful woman that the woman is organizing it, and she says, "Man, we want our men, we want to celebrate and adore that strong masculine energy." Yeah, so I mean, I often say to the young guys, I'll give you an example. Some of the guys say, well, I dance with a woman and then I get an erection, then I feel super embarrassed and I try to hide it. And I said, no, nonsense. Fuck that shit, if I can be so direct. You never want to put your erection down. I mean, if it's all in consent and you have that erection, celebrate that erection, and that is actually a beautiful compliment to the woman. And most women can take it, well, if they have done their work. Well, take that as a beautiful, beautiful compliment. Now, if you as a man, as a young man, now trying to hide your erection and try to stop it, I mean, that's terrible, because now you're stopping your sexual energy flowing, and maybe a few years down the line, you're still going to have a problem having an erection. So if you have an erection, you never want to stop that. You want to celebrate that and enjoy that. So yeah, that's a strong message for me to the young guys.
I think that these men, especially the younger men, as you've addressed, really need some solid direction on exploring and actually capturing their masculinity and being proud of it. It's very difficult nowadays with the pressures that these younger men have in expressing that, like I said before, in light of those social pressures that these young men are facing, Leonard, what would you say to them to overcome that and basically say, fuck it, fuck you. This is who I am. This is how I'm going to express myself. I'm not hurting anyone. I'm actually becoming a better person and trying to develop a stronger relationship with whoever that may be. What would you say to those guys?
Exactly, to do exactly that, to drop into their own masculine energy and be proud of it and be secure of it. And then that often means sitting in men's circles and talking to guys like you and like me and a lot of other guys out there that give them that confidence. And also talking to women, a lot of my women friends that says exactly the same thing. That's what we need, you know. We need strong masculine men in this world, but strong masculine men that are in their hearts. And that's super powerful. So I'm saying to those guys, drop into your heart, stay in your heart. And I mean, I hope they understand what I mean if I say that. What I, you know, in other words, feel the love in your heart. You know, so come from a place of love. And if you know we all got triggers, we all got wounds, do some inner work, you know, do some workshops, do some stuff, do some emotional work on yourself, because we come on this planet with that, having to do that, you know, it's just the reality of where we are in our evolution and our consciousness. So do that inner work, but from that space then very much honor your masculine energy, honor your erection, honor your virile energy. So that's beautiful. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. It's amazing. I'll give you an example. You know, we often use this example is that if you see a beautiful woman, you know, out there, and if you look her straight in the eyes and you just with adoration and you say, wow, with your masculine energy, you give a compliment about you're beautiful. I tell you now, 99 out of 100 women will love that, or 90 out of 100. The 10 or so, the minority that wouldn't, are those that have a lot of inner work that they still need to do. So if you come from an open-heartedness space with adoration and an adoration of the outer feminine, I promise you it will be received in a good way. I think where the problem is, and that's where a little bit, I think where things like porn and stuff like that can change that energy. And I have seen it with myself also. You know, often we walk and then you see a beautiful woman, but you don't have the courage to look her straight in the eye. You wait for her to walk past and then you look at her. And I think that's the kind of energy that is probably not so good. That's what we all kind of way need to work on. I think that's the energy that women wouldn't enjoy. But I'm giving that example to give you the other example of like for the guys out there to try that actually with from a heart space. Look at a woman and say that to her and see what's the reaction, you know, and then let us know what you find. But my experience has been is the woman just starts glowing and they love it because they can see it comes from a beautiful, authentic, open space. And that's beautiful. There's nothing wrong with that.
I think you're spot on, Leonard, with that. The problem that I've experienced, and I'm sure you've heard this as well, is, as I mentioned before, the influence of the mainstream media, the poor influence of social media that is saying everything to the contrary. They're pushing forward that 10% of women that you
So,
described rather than the 90% that truly the way you described. And I've seen that too. Most women want a strong, passionate, loving, masculine man that's going to chase them around the couch once in a while. But a lot of these women don't have that voice. They're not allowed to have that voice, especially on
mm,
social media, because it's not what the powers that be want, at least this country, to know. And I think it's important to have voices like yours out there that encourage men. This is not the case. That is a small percentage of females that you're seeing on these YouTube channels that,
sure.
I'm a 10 and she's a 10 and she's a 10. And we're all 10s, but all you guys are 5s. This is not what is happening out there in the real world. And that's the type of message that we've got to get pushed out to these men so they can build their self-confidence again and not be influenced. That they need to have exposure from men who get it, who walk the path.
Yes, 100%, Marco. And I almost want to say, you know, just to add to what you're saying there, is that remember that there's often the minority that screams the loudest, you know. So it's like we talk about this, I believe, I don't know what the percentage, 2 or 5 or 10, I don't know what it is, but I really believe it's a minority of women. For the guys out there to see it in perspective, you know, and if it isn't social media and it is like, feels like 80%, just no, it isn't 80. It is more like 8. Because a lot of other women are not saying that. And then I also know a lot of women in my space, in you know, South Africa, Europe, I don't know America that well, but in the spirituality, sexuality space that are very vocal. I mean, there's a clip I did a few days ago with a lady in Switzerland that's inviting me to go and speak to a group of men there, do a workshop for a day with men there. And she was very vocal about it. She was expressed it even more directly than I did about that, how they really want that, that type of masculine energy. And just a point you also make me think about. We could talk about relationships earlier. Is that polarity in relationships, and that's why women don't want it. Generally speaking, women, why would, for a relationship to work within a man and a woman, let's just talk man and woman for now. There need to be polarity. There need to be a feminine and a masculine polarity. And yes, it can be interplayed and you can play different roles at different times. But broadly speaking, there must be polarity. So if a woman is here and this man on the other side is not masculine enough, then there's not enough polarity and the relationship can't work. So therefore, women want guys that can be strong in their masculinity. Otherwise, the relationship is not going to be good.